All right. Good morning, my dogs. It is 8:55. It is February 7th. It is Jobs Friday, and I'm glad it's out of the way. I was on the radio with the Alpha team when the numbers came out, and it seemed kind of pretty in line with the wages a little bit higher. So it's not a bad thing that Americans are making a little bit more money, but it is a gauge, I guess, that inflation isn't coming off as fast as everyone says. But bottom line is, the market didn't have much of a move, which is good because now the jobs report is behind us. We have lots of earnings reports behind us, and now there's less binary events, so we could try and just trade the trend and have our positions, massage them, use our tier system, and get ready for the day. The key is getting ready for the day, and that's what we do. I have the Alpha team here, which is with me all day long. These are my dogs that get to talk and figure out how to go about the day, what's happening. We had an open house about a week ago. And, we have some new members, some like-minded individuals who trade for a living. Yes, if you trade for a living, you want to be on the Alpha team because you have right now there's like 273 people there. Usually there's like 500, 600, and everyone has their own style, their own specialty. Everyone's trying to help each other. So if you happen to feel like you're trading alone, I would go to figure out how to become a member of the Alpha team. But anyway, with that being said, those are my positions. I don't have a whole lot going on. It's been, to me, a little bit of a choppy week. We did start down, if you remember, at the 630 club on Monday when we had the gap down. I started saying, would we hold the 589.20 gap? That was right after we did the 20 at 520. By the way, a lot of people are asking me about what's the 20 at 520. Well, I do actually a nice little 20-minute video from the sauna. I've been in the sauna every day. I try and pride myself on being a creature of routine and process. I get up every day, drink a nice big glass of water. I then sit down, get my mind right now, and play with my little puppy Phoenix. And I look at what's happening around the world. I look what's happening in Europe, in Asia. I read some macro notes. And then what I do is I go in the sauna and I sweat, because when I sweat, my endorphins go and I get my most clarity of thinking. So I actually turn my sauna into a studio where people could do a little small 20-minute version workout with me. If they don't have a sauna, they have a mat, or they have, a towel. I have some weights in the sauna. Some people do push-ups and planks. And I talk about what's going on with the market a little bit, what's going on in my head, what potential situations I'm thinking about. If I'm long some of the tech, will tech hold certain areas? If things like in Amazon came out with numbers, will Amazon put its low in the first 5 to 10 minutes? Can Tesla, which has been horrible, get a little bit better? Nvidia, a bunch of days ago in the 630 club, I started seeing relative strength. A lot of people made money there. So I'm thinking about, and I'm framing my day as I'm doing some biceps, I'm doing some shoulders, doing some stuff. And that's what the subscribe button is. So if you want to get your mind right in the morning, subscribe to the Red Dog Mindset. So this way, then you could execute on the X's and O's, because a chart's a chart. Here you go. Here's, the low. Here's a higher low, higher low, higher low. Doesn't look like you should have made $1 billion this week just buying the SPY dip. Anyway, it's always not that easy, right? But if you're thinking straight and you have your routine in your process, at least you're approaching the day and you're even keel. Okay, for now, you have 606.60. SPYs right now are up 50 cents. So it's not like we're running away. So if we get above 606.60, there's really nothing up until 609 to 611. I personally don't think we're going to run away, but at least, you have, at least you have some vehicles to trade. Like in Fangland, the best stock out there right now, or the best two, are Netflix. Doesn't mean they're the easiest to trade. You have Netflix at an all-time high. We talk about a T3, this pro earnings gap, and how to play against it. If you bought verse 950, you've been chilling, right? You're not having to do too much and not having to manage it too much. Also, if you're a member of Power Plays, which is a new service where we kind of just tell you what to do, and sometimes it works. You don't have to figure it out yourself. You're making good money, and it's just heading higher. That's been great. Meta's been great. Just kind of, these are the two Mag 7 names that still post earnings are special, and people are playing to buy dips. But then you have the other ones. The other ones are they have holes in the chart. It's a different trade. First you have Google now. Will Google get into this gap? So it's a different trade. It's not trending. It's not special. It's rebuilding. You have trending and you have rebuilding. Google's rebuilding. So if you want it to be long versus this pivot low, I get it. That's 188.03. You're long versus that. And maybe there's a trade to fill this gap. Maybe they forget that the earnings underwhelmed a little bit, but it's a cheap valuation. Everyone loves Google. YouTube's fantastic. And that could be a cash flow trade. If you're not caught in this could be a trade. Microsoft looks kind of similar also. It's in the penalty box. Microsoft hasn't been special since the July high. So now here you are. Maybe you could be long versus 405, 408, and it works towards that gap. It's a different kind of trade. Apple was sold on its gap up. People made good money there. And now it's trying to kind of hold this lower range. So we'll see what's happening there. Tesla has been really hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Tesla, to me, I lost a bunch of money in Tesla the past week or so. After a strong day, it just hasn't been acting well. You do have a little bit of a bottom tail yesterday at 363. We talked about this in the 630 Club. Would Tesla hold 360 to 363? And guys on the Alpha team were buying it and made some really good money yesterday. Congrats to the Alpha team. You should be a member if you trade real time for a living. And anyway, so we'll see what happens here with Tesla today. What's Tesla doing right now? I looked before. It's down 280. Maybe there's a trade for Tesla to go green today. Maybe. So that could be on your radar if you get a signal. If you get a signal for Tesla to buy, meaning the market comes in, it doesn't go down, tries to go green. That's what I call a signal. It's not going to like wave at you. So anyway, so the Mag 7 has been very difficult. What's been awesome for, I got to give credit to Todd from the Alpha team and some of the guys. They've been all over Palantir. They've been using my pro earnings gap setup where you could buy versus a big gap pivot. And if that gap pivot holds, usually you trade in the direction of it. And even though they played, the computers like to play with you a little bit, they played with it for a day at 99.32. So then you had, it went below 151. All the shorts were probably pressing. It's over. They've been saying that since 20. No, it's not over. Meanwhile, put it a little low in a 99.32, and then boom, gave you another trade above this 106.91 to hit 111.50. This morning, what's Palantir doing? It is flattish. So you'll see what happens. But that's different. You have a different setup. This had a big gap up to hold to see if it holds, whereas the other ones have a hole in their chart. Dash has been the best trade. I've been talking about Dash. Dash has been great for T3. Ever since here, I think we've had it as a power play a bunch of times. And this has been a great, strong trend that I've been buying the dip, staying with it. And to me, it's been working well. It took a little while for me to get comfortable with it. It was a new name for me. But again, you look at the weekly chart and Dash has been unbelievable. It looks like a big time cup and handle. What I am comfortable with is charts. I've been doing this for 30 years. You know how I've been doing this for 30 years? Because I keep my mind right. I have my process going. Again, I wake up in the morning, I frame the day, I get in my zone, I sweat it out. If you want to do that with the Red Dog, subscribe above to the Red Dog Mindset. It's all about how to think clearly so you can execute on the X's and O's. Again, cup and handle pattern. You could Google a cup and handle pattern, but if you don't know how to execute when it's go time, and if you don't have a developed go time, you're never going to be able to react and listen to your inner voice. So here you go. Nice little move. I would think this spot is still where it can get. So this could even take out 225 to 250. This is where all the institutions started way back when, before we had that decline in 2021. So I would stay with this trade. I would learn it. I'd see how it moves and figure it out because, so far it's been acting awesome. I'll tell you what hasn't been acting awesome, and that's been Nvidia. Nvidia has not been acting awesome, but we talked about the relative divergence. All I know is I was sitting with the Alpha team. We were hanging out. I think it was on this day after we reclaimed 116. The futures were down like 25 handles, and Nvidia was up 75 cents. I'm like, hey, this is the first day I'm seeing Nvidia up 75 cents. While the SPYs are down too. It's not lagging. Maybe there's a good trade here, and a lot of guys made some really good money. And now we'll see, does it get into this gap or not? Can it trade above 129 and then, above 129? Sometimes it trades in there, messes with you, and doesn't hold it, and that's it. After 4 days, it's a little difficult. Sometimes it trades above it, stays above it, and then everyone short gets squeezed, and you get maybe a move towards the 130s, which would be a nice little cash flow trade if it happens today. We'll see. These are all the things that I have going on in my head. These are the things that I rehearse. If this, then that. If that, then this. As I prepare, as I'm up every day. I'm up at 4:45. That's usually when I send out the rise and grind. Why do I send out rise and grind? Because A, have some gratitude for rising, and B, hopefully you love your grind. Because you don't love your grind or your routine and your process, you're not going to do it every day. And if you don't do it every day, you're never going to be prepared to execute when the X's and O's tell you to. And if you don't prepare your mind, you know what? you might as well get a different scenario, or any job. Like any job, you have to prepare your mind for, not just trading. So with that said, let me say hello real quickly to some of my dogs around the world. Oh, yes. Baba. How did I forget Baba? Baba is my biggest position. Baba, right here, I put it on as a power play options. I think the 95s had to move up, sold them into this move down. I went to the 103s and 105s. So I am in the 105s and 107s for earnings. So Baba this morning is a nice surprise. It was up 7. Now it's up 4. So, but it's been acting well, and Baba, if you look at the weekly chart's pretty nice. Nice, the Baba chart. Anyway, remember when this was 319? Well, look at this lower channel as Baba's been in a bear market. And it's finally waking up. There's talk that their margins are going to be great. There's talk that their revenue's high. There's talk that they have a better model than DeepSeek. So it got me interested, and what got me more interested is that the action's been much better. So I've been sticking with that. What's up, Massapequa? What's up, guys? I'm not playing SMCI. If China stays okay, Ricky, Tiger could get better. It's good morning, Jose Vargas. Good morning. Are we headed for a new all-time high today? I don't know. Again, your levels. SPYs right now are up 33 cents. I don't think so. I don't think today's the day, but what do I know? All I know is here's the SPYs. You have your levels. We've grinded up for 4 days. Can we get above and stay above 606.60? Perhaps. And if we get above that, then you have your 609 to 611. So with that being said, we've been in this range pretty much since December, rightly so, after a huge move like we've seen in 2023 and 2024. And the question is, has enough time gone by? We'll see. Right now, the small caps have sort of got a little bit better. We'll see if that continues. This was a kind of hawkish jobs report, so the flows might not be for the small caps, but yes, I am in a few. Some guys are asking me, am I still in this little robotics name from Israel? I am. I think it looks pretty good. I had to move to 5. I was in here, sold some. I started to reposition again there. Some guys are saying, what about the XBI? What about the bios? The bios like lower rates. Not the end of the world yesterday, but a decent 3-day move. I wouldn't want to see this really get too much below 92-ish. There are some individuals out there that really like this. What is it? IMNM. But it's, again, I hate bios, to be honest. It's either a home run or not. My history with bios aren't great, but if you want to do some homework on your own, the guy that runs this company is no joke. CEO just bought a lot of shares. You have Steve Cohen, him from the Mets, and he's a big portfolio manager. He files for 6%. So as long as this kind of holds in here, keep this on your radar, as a bio, that if the bios get better. But anyway, when all of a sudden names like, Apple are having some trouble and not working, or names like a Google or even a Microsoft, you have to figure out where are the trends. Some people love this. They love this new TEM because they say Pelosi's involved, and I get it. It kind of reminds me of that MBIS, and it's been going sideways. It's a little extended here, but at some point, maybe this takes out to 77 and works its way towards 90 or 100. Maybe, put that on your radar. So when things change, you have to change, and you always want to kind of massage your go-to list. With that said, it's Friday. I hope you had a good week. Jobs reports behind us. We're still waiting to hear whether Trump will have his phone call with Xi, and whether they've dialed back some of the tariffs the way they did with Canada and the way they did with Mexico, and that helped the market. So keep your eyes and ears open, right? That's what you want to do, and keep your process and routine strong. And if you do that and enjoy yourself here and there, you can keep making progress instead of perfection. I appreciate you, my dogs.